Hello and welcome to the next episode. So, here we have a very confident diagnosis, as we can see in this new message that was sent to the bot, which is my groundnut leaves have yellow patches with brown edges spreading from the tips. A question to clarify from the bot, and then after answering, it says that it's a potassium deficiency. Now, it did ask qualifying questions, so maybe this is a very good guess, but we want to know for sure that this is something that the farmer should follow, right? And then if it's a leaf spot, then this mancozeb, right? And these are things that cannot be undone. So what we want to do in this episode is we want to add another review, a second opinion agent or a review agent. So the way the architecture is going to be that this is how we had stuff at the end of episode 7, and then in this episode what we're going to do is add a review agent before the crop disease agent and the good disease reply. So let's look at the code. The new addition here is the function review crop diagnosis. The diagnosis is basically the same dictionary that comes as the JSON format, and that has the primary suspect, the severity, the treatments, and the treatment summary. And that we can see something like this, right? So those get stripped and added to a concern here. So we call it a concern, and then we add this to the call to the Claude API. Now this is going to be a Claude to the Haiku model. The max tokens are only 100, and it's supposed to give a cold opinion, right? A very fresh opinion, because it has no prior context about this case, right? It only reviews two things: the farmer history, the farmer's original text, and the diagnosis, which is these three elements. And then if nothing's wrong and this independent reviewer concurs with the diagnosis, it just says okay. And if it does not, there'll be a one sentence concern. And this really helps tell the farmer that, hey, there's a second opinion, and I think this is giving me some assurance as to whether I should proceed with applying this fertilizer or not. We are also trying to show this in the Versa logs just for our use to see what was provided. And so that is pretty much going to give us that second opinion, and we can now test that with a similar message. We're gonna say my groundnut leaves have yellow patches with brown edges spreading from the tips, just as before. And because it needs to ask a follow-up question, there isn't enough. There we go. So this has a certain diagnosis by the independent reviewer, but it says because of the lack of suspected pathogen identification and treatment recommendation, which is those two factors that we had in the JSON, it cannot just say okay. So that's why there is a main message follow-up saying, are these yellow patches with brown edges appearing on the lower leaves first? So let's go ahead and give some response that adds more clarity to the answer. All right, so I'm going to put that here. This is not answering the question directly, but I'm going to say that they're yellowing and falling off early. All right, so it's asking me a question, and the independent reviewer is still very concerned that the diagnosis is incomplete and potentially problematic. Let's go forward and complete the questions that the main crop disease agent is asking. The lower leaves are yellowing and dropping first. So once we do that, there would be some kind of diagnosis that the crop disease agent will finally come to. Right, so here we are. We have leaf spot disease as the final thing, and very interesting message here. The symptom pattern of lower leaf yellowing and dropping first is more characteristic of nitrogen deficiency than leaf spot disease, directly contradicting the leaf spot disease. Now, you may say, what's the use of a message that is conflicting? And I think that this is a good thing, because now at least there are two options where they can check if they are not just adding the wrong fungicide, even if it might be a little confusing, it can give more follow-up answers, like how many weeks into the growing cycle are you now, and so on and so forth, to narrow it down until these two concur. Or they can escalate this to a real human agronomist to make sure. But at least now we have not only narrowed down to leaf spot disease and nitrogen deficiency, we have cross-checked one against the other. So this is turning out to be a well fleshed out agronomist, agent, and friend who can help you with the crop disease, the farm strategy, but also the crop disease has an independent agronomist. So really there's one more agronomist helping you. But we haven't really taken it anywhere more than just these texts, right? So now in the next episode, we will build our first tool and bring in some more functionality other than just asking questions and answers. And that's going to be in episode 10. So I'll see you then. Bye-bye.